Again, on the issue of Epstein files, I hear many journalists saying, release Epstein files, release Epstein files, it's a song, it's an everyday song. Yes, for what? Like, one thing that puzzles me is that, like, if the Epstein files are released, then, the crux of the matter here is how will the Epstein files help us, I don't see any benefit from Epstein files. No, it is just, some journalist what? It is just some journalist's criticism. And, one thing I've realized that, as a journalist sometimes, and, we must learn to have humanity, because I've realized that some of the journalists, they are journalists because they want to release what? They want to release their anger on the people or to the people. Because, being journalist is not all about, criticizing people, criticizing your leaders. Actually, the origin of journalism, if I don't lie, it was to solve what? It was to help in solving judicial matters. Like, for example, there is injustice happened in the society. That is where journalists were going to come, and intervene to find in finding justice to what happened. Not what we see today. Like, not that I have problem with journalists, but modern journalists are, like, they are somehow like, they are degrading the name journalism. Someone can just, go and dig for you while you are here. Because I was surprised, some other times, I was with these people. They wanted to find about me, in some other sectors of the world. But I'm here with them. That's not journalism. Journalism is not all about going after people's personal things. That's not journalism. Journalism is all about helping the society. It's all about cracking what? Critical points that abide the society. Not these things we are seeing today. Release Epstein files. Release Epstein files for what? You want to persecute your good leader. Yes, you will, and you will. But then the question is, what will you do after that? I understand. I was reading, this case, this case from what? From this book called what? A Famous Trials, Cases That Made History. I was reading this case about, the persecution of Jesus Christ. I started to realize that even those people, who accused Jesus Christ the Lord. I think after that, when they start to realize, when they start to come to their normal senses, they didn't know what they were doing. That is why, when I was reading the story, uh, uh, there are certain outsource which says, after the persecution of Jesus Christ, the governor or the judge who was in charge of who was in charge of the matter, who is this judge called whom? What's the name of this judge? Is it Marcus? Yes. No, not Marcus, Pontius Pilate. Yeah, Pontius Pilate, after that matter, he found himself guilty. So then he decided to throw himself inside the Nile River. Yes, because, sometimes, I was just trying to guide, this issue of journalism. Like sometimes we must not bring, our emotional thoughts in the society. Sometimes some people, one thing I know about journalists, some, they have previous problems. Yes, so it is not when you have problems, you must keep them your own, or you must find a way that will help you, to see those problems. Like not to come to us with, angers, emotions, and everything. No, that's not how journalists operate. So we have to be careful. I'm just warning journalists that sometimes we have to be cautious. We have to be alert, because destroying our leaders is will be destroying uh, our societies. Let me say, for example, but I know Trump will not be arrested. No, cannot happen. Let's say yes. You arrest Trump. Then what does that mean? That means you've allowed intruders to penetrate your country, because Trump is the only last standing man currently who is in charge of America, who is in charge of what, the social security of America. There is no, but I don't remember any person for now. So this thing of the Epstein files, I think they must fall, and because yes, they also they also make Trump to look somehow, and you understand, they bring this bad image to Donald Trump, which is not. When as societies, or when as a people, when are we going to start, praising our leaders? I think this behavior of journalism, we start to see it now. But previously, in those olden days, I don't think there were such people, acting this way. So we have to find ourselves, like what went wrong, as the people, like start criticizing our leaders over and over. We've got these snacks. These people called snacks. They always want to pull out a dirty scenario uh, in us. You know, people no longer, want to see out of 10 good things you have done. People will want to judge you by what? Will judge you by what? That 1%, and which is not. It is not what societies are built for. I think we start to lose our morals. So we have to go back, and 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 evaluate ourselves, especially to journalists. Not that I hate journalists or I'm against journalists, but their behavior sometimes is cannot tolerate it at all. So societies, people